the microphone works. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All technicalness has been technicalized. Everything is good. I'm here. Welcome on and welcome back to, a new space game this evening. You lucky people, new space games. What else could you possibly want? We're taking a bit of a break from No Man's Sky because we completed the expedition eventually last week, which was a bit fraught. I was mostly totally utterly exhausted by the end of last week. But taking a bit of a break from No Man's Sky because something has cropped up on the radar. The scanners have picked something up, and we must investigate because we're all good space game fanatics and enthusiasts on this stream. And so I thought it was worth a bit of a diversion. New space games, yeah, exactly, new space games. But before we do that, before we even explore the possibilities of what new space games can offer, we must do the thing because the thing is the thing, and the thing must be done because, hey. It's tradition. I have no idea why we do this, but the thing is the thing, and the thing is the thing, and the thing must be done. So the thing will be done, and I'm going to start doing the thing about now. Orkney Sean is first in the chat. Good evening, Orkney Sean. Good to see you. Pete SB is here as well. Wintermute GB is here. Of course he is, which is always good to see. Come on, the Sea Dwellers here with the Wombles, as ever. Tidying up wherever they may go. Wolf999 is here. Hopefully no emergencies this evening. I'm here for reasons that won't become obvious anytime soon. Andy P783 is here as well. I'm not sure what the significance of 783 is, but I'm sure one day we'll find out. The Harkonnens are here, ready to invade Arrakis as ever. The Arrakises are here, ready to fight off the invasion of the Harkonnens, which is even better. And they're appearing at roughly the same time, which means the battle must be going either one way or the other, which is good. Junior's here. Hello, Junior. Good to see you. Always nice to see you there. And Electron Ghost is here as well. The Kazakh is here. Crumb is here. Glenn. Oh, Frank is here. Wow, this is good. Good to see you, Glenn. And yes, all the best ones are here. That's basically it. That's what we're doing. And anybody else who is basically watching this going, what the hell have I just wandered into? It's a very informal, light-hearted stream, but we will quickly get to. Well, we probably won't actually, but we will endeavour to get to the heart of the thing. Now, I was contacted. I think on Twitter, I'm just trying to remember exactly what happened. Out of the kind of not quite out of the blue, because I think I followed this game for a little bit. I was intrigued by it, but I hadn't been paying that much attention to it. But you know, when someone says, "Well, if you're interested in streaming this, we'll give you a free Steam key," then that tends to kind of like, oh. So let's have a look. So. The lovely Claire has given me a free Steam key for Starship Simulator. Now let me let you read a little bit about Starship Simulator first from there. And they're very organised. I'm very impressed. We'll find out a little bit more about them in due course. But very, very, very. I'm just reading from their website here. So what are we talking about here? Okay, so about the game. Here we go. About the game. Starship Simulator is a space exploration sandbox. Thumbs up. Where you serve as a crew member aboard mankind's first experimental deep space exploration vessel. Thumbs up. Your ship is tasked with the mission of exploring the galaxy beyond Sol to seek out habitable worlds with standing orders to conduct science and make successful first contact with any alien species you encounter on your journey. Now that does sound slightly familiar. Now that's not it. There will be no Star Trek references at all, okay, in this entire stream, right? No Star Trek. We will not be splitting infinitives or stuff, okay? No, just no. We won't be making it so. We won't be engaging. I will not tug my uniform down. All right, it's not going to happen. No. It's a space journey. It's a void walk. Or something. Okay. Anyway, right. So we will soon discover, however, that the galaxy is a vast and mysterious place with unexpected dangers lurking in the dark. Okay, so this is the build-up. Now, first things first. This game is not out yet. Okay, so what we're looking at here is still pre-release. I guess it's an alpha. I'm not quite sure. I assume it's an alpha. So it's not a release game. Okay, so we don't go into this at this point expecting, yes, it's finished, ready to go, let's go and have some fun, because it's not going to be quite like that, but it's still under development. It is it's a British game. Huzzah! It comes from Somerset. Okay. which are down in the West Country, where they have combine harvesters and all that sort of stuff. So he says probably alienating the entirety of Cornwall and Devon straight away with a really, really bad accent. Fleetyard Studios is the people who are creating it, and it's basically Dan and Claire who share the same surname. So I'm assuming they're married. That might be an assumption too far, but I don't know. And the lovely Claire has given me a free Steam key to try this game out. Dan, I think, is the developer, and he is developing. I know nothing about development, so I assume that means typing code and doing clever stuff. And Claire does all the sort of social media and coordination with all the sort of things. So that's it. It's kind of single player but multiplayer as well, so you'll be able to do both. It will be Windows and it will have VR. Yes. Game engine is it's based on Unreal Engine 5, which I don't know what that means, but I assume that's good. Somebody tell me. But there's some, and that's good. Okay, so small team, big ambitious project. What's the credential? Now, I was quite interested in reading this. Right, so I'm just going to read it from their website, because this is their sort of press pack. It's actually really good. I might pinch some ideas for it for myself. Dan, and I may murder the pronunciation of the surname here, so apologies. Dan Govier, something like that, founded Fleetyard Studios with his wife Claire. What is his wife? Excellent. Congratulations to the two of you. With his wife Claire in 2020, with the sole purpose of turning his childhood dream of living and working aboard a deep exploration space vessel into reality. Dan leverages his passions in science, engineering, architecture and astrophysics to ensure that every aspect of the game is as accurate as possible. Dan is currently the sole developer of Starship Simulator, having previously been co-project lead on, and I kid you not here, the Orville interactive fan experience. Now, I don't know what that is, because I've not played that either, if it's even a thing, but that's a fairly hefty credential, the Orville interactive fan experience. He's supported by his wife Claire, who manages the game's growing community and social media presence. The game's music is composed by Orchestrum, which I don't know what that is, but we'll find out. And the audioscape is being developed by Jose Luis Gonzalez Castro. I think I got that right. Who previously worked on a certain space game that we don't normally mention, but I will today because it's a good credential, Elite Dangerous, and many other successful titles. I mean, what a crew, okay? What a crew. Testing and quality assurance are carried out by Mika Pieck and Scott Lowry, who joined us from our previous projects, and our growing army of backers who stress test every development build release. So this is interesting. There's some serious credentials there, a serious ambition. It's all focused about exploration. It's not this. I mean, there probably will be some pew in there, but exploration in a starship in space. Okay. And here's the killer, right? Our collective goal is to create the deepest emoji. It's totally fluffing his line. Our collective goal is to create the deepest and most engaging space exploration experience possible. Wow. Okay. Now that's insanely exciting. Right, so headline features then. What are they trying to achieve? Right, explore billions of star systems across a scientifically accurate 1-to-1 scale Milky Way galaxy. Yes. In real time. Yes. With no transitions or loading screens. Yes. Encounter countless alien civilizations with unique personality traits that must be carefully navigated to achieve successful first contact. Ooh, sounds fun. Retrieve unique procedurally generated physical objects from alien worlds for science scans or simply to decorate your ship. Cool. Explore detailed and highly interactive ship interiors on foot. Ship interiors! Yes. With the Magellan Class having over 200 rooms across 7 decks. Okay, so that's the Starship itself. Starships designed and built from the ground up, as though they were real vessels. Ka-ching! Be like this. With every hull panel and cable run designed in CAD software. Okay, so it's not just let's throw some bulkheads together. Let's actually wire up the thing properly so it kind of works. Fully simulated ship systems with multiple kilometres of functioning cables, pipes and machinery to maintain and repair. So if something goes bust, it's not just a case of right click and fix. It's because you've got to plug the right cable into the right thing, otherwise it's going to go bang. Extensive ship and character customization out of the box. Make your home among the stars uniquely your own. 8 unique crew roles to choose from: captain, engineer, pilot, science officer, tactical officer, doctor, morale officer. I think I'm going to be morale officer. And passenger. Oh, I want to be the science officer. So that's the blurb. That's the ambition. Now that sounds pretty darned amazing. Okay, so that's the intro to this. So the moment I kind of read that, I thought we've got to give this a try. This is what this stream is about, right? So anyway, so I'm just going to read. Sorry for the verbiage here. But I'm going to read from their from their Steam page. They have just won, I think, at the end of last year. Well, not one, but they came third on the Steam Indie of the Year competition for 2022. So that's pretty cool. About this game. So Starship Simulator is a space exploration sandbox where you serve as a crew member aboard mankind's first experimental deep space mission. Okay, so we kind of know that. While exploring space, your ship will require fuel and maintenance, and the 200 crew members will require food and healthcare. Both players and NPC crew alike will need to perform role-specific tasks to ensure the ongoing needs of the ship and her crew are managed successfully. So send probes to the surface of alien worlds to retrieve all manner of interesting samples, from simple flora to the relics of long-dead civilizations. You could find a new food source, a new mineral to enhance your hull plating, or perhaps even some abandoned alien technology. Do you risk connecting it to your ship? It could help or hinder in unexpected ways. Make first contact with all manner of procedurally generated alien races and negotiate peaceful relations by carefully navigating dialogues. Some will be welcoming of your presence in their star system, while others will require skilled diplomacy to avoid conflict. If your ship and your crew perform admirably, then return to Earth for a hero's welcome. But if you neglect your duties or anger the wrong alien species, then you may not return home at all. Excellent. And it's basically and it's supposed to be a real starship. Now, what does it need to run it? Well, it's not outrageous. So the minimum requirements are 64-bit Intel i5 processor, 8 gigabytes of RAM, an NVIDIA 980 Ti. That's not as good as the one I've got. I know that. So, and so on and so forth. Recommended is talking about an Intel i7, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and a 2080. I'm not sure what the AMD equivalent to that, but there we go. So that's basically the blurb. So that just sounds amazing. So I thought we've got to try that. Now it isn't out. Okay, so this is pre-release. This is alpha-y, demo-y sort of stuff. Okay, so we're not going to get the full thing, but I've been assured that we'll be able to get a feel of it. And I think this is going to be one to watch. So pre-alpha, or whatever. So, but it just sounds like this sounds exactly like the perfect game to me, because the best thing about Elite Dangerous was the exploration, right? You could go out into a 1.1 scale galaxy, but alas, there wasn't much out there. So if this game can somehow create some stuff that's actually makes exploration fun, and you're not just going out in a kind of weedy little trader ship, with delusions of grandeur. You're going out in a starship, which is a far more civilized way of doing things. So with no further ado, because that's enough ado, let's fire it up and see what happens. I am playing one thing they told me to do is switch the Steam library thing, and I learned how to do this. Claire taught me how to do this, so thank you for Claire for telling me. Is to switch to their beta mode, which means it's got some maybe kind of some of the edge content, some of the latest dev builds and stuff, but it might not be as stable. So in case it crashes, we'll have to be a little bit forgiving and see how it goes. So let's do that. I'm going to switch to the game view. Right, is it going to work? It should do. Okay, looking for gameplay capture. Dun, 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 dun. Is it going to pick it up? Come on. Yes, there it goes. Okay, so we are aboard ship. Here we are. We've become a person on board the Starship. Now, it is it's a first-person game. I think it looks like we're... Oh, look. Okay, conference chat, press F to sit. So I literally haven't done anything yet in this. I've got no idea how good or bad this is going to be. Press... Oh, Dan's here. Oh, hello, Dan. Sorry, I didn't see that you were here. I hope I didn't murder the pronunciation of your surname. Press F4 for a key guide. Okay, well, that's... Oh, wow. Okay, navigating the ship. Step 1, go to the sensor station on the bridge. Set to star system interest. Press scan target. Right. Okay, so that's telling me how to navigate the starship. Electrical. Good grief. Okay, this is going to take a while to get. Okay, there are some keys. Okay, so hang on. Let me just get the hang of those first. So, general key bindings, player movement, WASD or cursors, jump. Okay, so that's all fairly standard stuff. Camera distance, camera modes, action key, torch and flashlight, camera distance, mouse. Okay, that's all very sensible. Oh, hang on. Ship customization. Ship customization. Ooh, okay. So, looks like I'm in a conference room here. So I've got a torch. Okay, yeah, that works. We are looking out through the window there, I'm guessing, at space. So I don't know where we are actually in space, but I guess we'll find out. So I can walk around. Oh, there's a sun or a star, and we are in a conference room at the moment. So let's have a quick look at the camera angles. Okay, so camera mode, first person, no head. Ah, oh, thank you very much for that, by the way, Dan. I can't stand head bobbing games. It makes me feel seasick. That's good. Oh, third person. Okay, so we. Hey, look, it's a British game. Huzzah! It's like, look. So in this universe, I'd love to know if there's any lore, if there's any lore to this, or if there's any thinking about it. So obviously in this universe, Britain has conquered the entire planet, and we're the people building starships. Forget those pesky Americans. Britain has gone into space. This is good. Am I the morale officer? Yes. So that's good. Okay, so that's good. So, Wintermute GB, do play the tutorial. I did see there was a tutorial. I'm quite keen on just having a wander around. Okay, so it seems am I a lady science officer? Looks like I am, so that's quite good. Is there a... Oh, I don't want to press that. Oops, no, I pressed the wrong button. Teleport to debug. I pressed the F2 button. I didn't think I wanted to press that. Can I get back out? Cancel. Just press the cancel button. Okay. So that's okay. I must remember that. Right. Hang on. I've just seen there Starship customization. Oh, I can rename the ship. Okay. So. So I'd like to know, what does UNSF stand? United Nations Space Force or United Nations Space Federation, maybe? I think I'll go. I think I'll leave that alone. But look, we can even change the registry number. Okay, I'm going to rename the ship because when I was a kid, I had the idea of having a fantasy ship called the Eurydice. So I'm going to go with that. So I don't know what that is. Let's go for XCS 4242. I don't know. Let's do that. Okay, so we can play with colours, and so we can customise the ship a little bit. Nice. Okay, so there's a little bit in there. Okay, so let's now rename the ship. Okay, we can sit. Okay. Oh, maybe that's a little bit bugged. Let's try that again. Now I've jumped onto the table. Maybe that wasn't the wisest thing to do. Let's try that again. Okay, so I mean we'll be able to sit at a conference. Now there is multiplayer as well. Am I trying to fly into the underworld? If you go into the first person and check out the panel by the window, there's things you can do there as well. Okay, first person view is a bit smoother. Okay, that kind of makes sense. So maybe we should go back to first person view. I might. Okay. Oh, hang on a minute. There's. Yeah. Okay. Oh, so Okay, so what you're saying is there's a control panel over there. What does that do? Window control polarization off on. So I think, okay, so I've got a mouse pointer which just allows me to control the middle. Polarization is off, polarization on. Oh, dims it down. Okay, so if we're near somewhere with a bright light source, we can actually we can filter the windows. Okay. So let's switch that off again. Oh, and then we've got percentage control. What's this one say? Scene projection. What does that do? Autumn Park. Excellent. Oh, it's 3D as well. Look at that. I suppose it would. So you've got like a hologram. So if you're out in space and you're kind of like you can't stand staring into the void any longer, you can. That is really nice. Look at that. Oh, I like that. So you can basically just put the window of the spaceship will create effectively some sort of hollow projection through the window, so you don't have to stare out into the bleakness of space forever. That's really nice. Okay, what else have we got in here? Misty Forest. Yes, you would definitely want a Misty Forest. That is really nice, the way that works. That's going to be amazing in VR. And you can look, you can just sort of see the, I suppose they're not pixels, but whatever they are in the space, in holograms. Oh, that's I like that. That's brilliant. Okay, so what else have we got? Misty Forest. We've got Rocky Desert. Okay, yeah, that looks nice. What it needs as well is an MP3 player or whatever the space equivalent is. Okay, Shady Forest. Nice, yeah. So Coastal Highlands. Now that looks a bit like Scotland. That does. Sean from Orkney, might be able to confirm. Is that Scotland? It looks Scottish. There aren't enough clouds, of course, in the sky for it to be Scotland, but maybe it is. That's a really nice feature. I like that. That means this is interesting from a kind of, if you're going to play a game for a while and you want to have kind of things in the game that make it feel like a home. That's really nice. Okay, so there's a stack load of evergreen mountains, rocky highlands, grassy hills, autumn park. Okay, so that's, and then we can switch it off, I guess, and it will go back to whatever the ship is looking at, which is out there. Brilliant, nice. I like that. That's really, really cool. It's been a good day up in north. It does look a bit Scottish. That's really nice. Okay, so, oh, hello. I've moved. By glitching, I've moved one of the chairs. Does that mean this is physicalized as well? Oh, does that mean there's something on the table? Does that mean I can pick... Oh, hang on a minute. I can pick stuff up. So how do I do... Oh, I just literally click on it. And so I can interact with objects as well. Oh, and then... Oh, the scroll wheel moves it forward and back. That's quite nice. So it's sort of hanging by my slightly disembodied hand, but I presume if I drop... I don't know quite where I am. About there, just drop it and it goes back. Nice. And presumably I can pick the tablet up. So I will be able to... Okay, so there's a bit of probably too much inertia there, but I should be able to inspect a tablet and do things with it. Oh, that's quite nice. There's no tea in the mug, alas, but assuming that's coming. Oh, can you throw it? Will that work? I don't think throwing mugs around is probably what you should be doing on the Starship. Let's just try that. Oh, you can as well. So we can actually have a strop on the Starship and throw it. That's really nice. So there's a physics model here as well. Ooh, that's very cool. Okay, so and I can, for neatness, I'm going to put that back on the table because I'm British. There we go. Nice. Okay. Okay. Well, that's very impressive so far. So throwing mugs about the hut and all that. And there's multiplayer as well. So yeah. So presumably we must try this actually. Some of you might be able to join me. Then sit in the chair and move around. So can you play chairs? How does that work? Oh, oh no, that's far too much fun. Okay, so it's a physicalized environment. That's pretty impressive. I like that. That's. How do I? Okay, space just gets me out of the chair. Okay, and there's Unreal Engine 5 is giving me. Look, I mean, there's nice wood paneling as well. I like the style of this starship as well. It's very minimalist, which is nice. Okay, so we've got a door here. Oh, we can switch the lights on and off. Cue the red dwarf jokes. Okay, yeah. It's an absolute masterpiece. Could I buy it? No, sir. I needed to switch the lights on and off. And sort of funky lighting. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so we walk out through here, and this is a corridor. That says. Okay, so we've just come out of the conference room. Clearly, makes sense, because all starships need a conference room. The doors have locks and privacy screens. Oh yeah, so what? Okay, so what? We can actually lock the door. Oh, it's got a security. Okay. Mode, door mode, manual or automatic. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of interactivity here. And what does this one do? Privacy? Is that just an alarm? Oh, that's the doorbell, of course. I'm not sure I can hear that. Oh, I didn't have my volume turned up. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got the same combination on my luggage. I don't think that's making a noise, but the doors go whoosh. Excellent. We're missing a lot of audio right now. That's planned for the future. Okay, that's cool. But the doors go whoosh. I mean, that's essential. Okay, so presumably we will be able to sit down on some of these things, but that's. Oh, I'm glad we got slidey chairs. So okay, so what other doors have we got? We've got a door here to the armory. Okay, open that door, which is very dark. Switch my torch on. Okay, so this is kind of alpha-y stuff. There's a room here, but it hasn't got anything in it at the moment. But you can see the way the ship is built. That's quite interesting. Okay, so there's space, and then the captain's office. Well, this is clearly where we need to hang out. Oh, the captain's got an office with some artwork on the wall and a globe and a thing. Look at that, a globe of. Oh, it is the world, or the Earth rather. So. Can we carefully pick his globe? Oh, we can. Better be careful with his globe. Let's put the captain's globe very, very carefully on his desk. Will that work? Okay. Let's see if I can. I hope that will drop down without me breaking it. No. Doesn't matter where I pick it up, it looks like it does. So is it sensitive to, if I pick it up there, will it rotate around? Oh, it does. It sort of rotates around its centre of gravity, but I can't quite pick it up in the right place. No, I've picked up the mug. Oops. But the idea is that, there we go. I think I've got. I kind of want it to tilt back that way, but I don't think it's. Well, now it's resting. Oh, it's resting on the mug. Excellent. Okay, so making that thing stand up is a hardcore level challenge, right? Okay. So I mucked up the captain's ready room. Okay, but we've got mugs and we've got tablets. Okay, so there's interactive. What's the book over there? Okay, so and then analytic report. Okay, so you get reports, and so you've got all the mechanisms there for playing. For being a starship captain, you could deliver reports. People could have jobs and roles and duties to perform. So I like that too. That's nice. Okay, so let's open the captain's door. Whoosh! Like that. That looks to be the bridge up there. Was there another room down here? There was, wasn't there? So this is XO, executive officer. Okay, so he's got quarters as well. Oh, he's got a bunch of stuff. So he's got a vase, and a decorative bowl, a plant, a whole bunch of books. Good man. A pot plant. Well, another pot plant. And he's got stuff as well, so let's not mess up his room as well. Where's the ship's cat? Yeah, I mean, well, maybe you can find one on your voyages. Okay, so this is the bridge. Oh wow. Okay. So captain's chair, I guess. Oh, we can see a heads-up display as well. So okay, look, so we're in the solar system, aren't we? Jupiter, Mercury, Venus. Perfect. Okay, and so we've got some sort of hologram in the middle here. Oh, it's the galaxy. Okay, so showing our position in the galaxy. So we're in the correct spiral arm. There's the bar spiral in the center of the the galaxy. So that all looks good. You've got a console over here. It seems to be switched off. Tactical station. Okay, so that's presumably defense. So we've got defense station and tactical station. So that will be where the pew pew happens. Presumably this is the captain's chair, command chair. Yeah. What can we do there? Okay, so we've got alert conditions: yellow alert, red alert, emergency lighting, disco mode. Disco mode, absolutely essential for every starship. And over here we've got. Oh, it's updated the name of the ship. Look at that. Oh, I'm on board my own starship. Awesome. Okay. This is the science station. Sensor station, and the comm station, which seems to be switched off. So I'm guessing at the front here, this must be navigation, helm station. Okay, so that's the bridge. I'm looking over the bow of the ship here. I'm guessing at the Earth over there, Alpha Centauri, and targets inside the solar system. Okay. So we will come back here and see if we can move the ship in a bit. Oh, sorry, I missed something. Check the carpet. Sorry, I've missed a few things from the chat. Sorry. Check the carpet in the middle. It was. Well, the carpet. Oh yeah, look. Can I zoom in? Is there a way to zoom in? Hold right mouse button to zoom in. Oh yeah. Oh, you can even see the carpet. Okay, so it does actually say Eurydice. Fantastic. That's really nice. So again, making your ship feel like your ship. It's got its own carpet. That is very nice. I like that. And it's updated the right number and everything. Very cool. Okay, I think we do probably just need to try out disco mode, because I'm quite tempted now. What have we got? So we've got condition normal, yellow alert. Oh, the colour changes. Okay. Ooh, come out of my chair again. Red alert, of course. So sounds presumably coming. Emergency lighting. Nice. Okay, so when we're in normal lighting, and then disco mode. This is test. Oh wow. Every starship needs that. The audio is done for the alerts, it's just not in the game yet. Okay, didn't even need. Look at that. I mean, that's. I'll tell you what that needs. That needs Close Encounters of the Third Kind, doesn't it? Do 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 do. That's what that's reminded me of. That's really cool. Alien virus. Okay, so basically different colour schemes. Okay, so you can kind of get a feel for what if the ship malfunctions or gets damaged or is under attack or weird stuff's going on, that the lighting can support it. Every starship needs a dance. It does, doesn't it? We should definitely do that. Okay, we'll come back and try moving the ship around in here. I want to kind of feel. Because I'm assuming now it needs to be said, obviously, the whole boldly going where no man's gone before kind of thing. Now we are on the bridge of a starship, okay, and I can see that the basic layout of the ship is a sort of a disc. So I'm curious about that, because it's that's a fairly well-established ship design philosophy that I'm wondering how close to the wind you can sail on that one without getting yourself into trouble. So I don't know. I mean, you obviously, Dan, you must have thought of that, and you're entirely aware of that. But yeah, if you can you summarise in the chat maybe? What's the plan to evolve the shape of the starship so maybe it doesn't have that kind of issue or association? Or I mean, because the Orville, for example, is a spaceship which is obviously very, very similar to famous other spaceships that we may not want to mention, and they're okay. So I mean, I don't know how close you can get to that without getting yourself into trouble. But I mean, a flying saucer is a flying saucer, I suppose. So So beyond the circular nature of the hull, says Dan, there's nothing at all in the game that's taken from Trek. Okay, actually, if you sit at the helm and press C a few times, you can see. Okay, see the rough work in progress hull. Okay, let's go and have a look at that. Let's sit in the helm. Does that allow us to use the camera? Oh, this looks very, very complicated. Okay, I'm looking forward to having a try on that in a bit. Let's press C. Okay, so that's third person view. Oh, we've got an external camera. Oh, it's mouse controlled as well. Okay, so we literally essentially it's a saucer with the engines on the back, which, you know, it's a flying saucer, right? Because I mean, lots of sci-fi franchises have flying saucer. I mean, Forbidden Planet. What else is there? There is Lost in Space. That had the flying saucer. If you press WS, you can pitch to get. Oh, okay, so we can actually maneuver the ship. WS. I'm not moving. Oh, look, hang on. I've probably remapped it somewhere along the line. Okay, so yeah, there we go. So it's basically okay. So the back end of the ship hasn't been created yet. So presumably that's where the engines are going to be. Okay, so we can see the bridge there. In fact, we can get a feel for the size of the ship now, can't we? Because that, presumably that bit at the back of, we can zoom. Oh, look, it's the UNSF. You see, my ship exists. Cursors on number. Yes, that worked. So presumably that's the bridge there, obviously in the middle, that circular section that we're standing. In fact, we can just about see ourselves there, can't we? So that ship is looking like it's about, that must be a couple of 100 meters long, right? Two large engines at the back, but no nacelles or anything Trek-like. Okay, so that makes sense. And we can see, okay, we were looking out of those windows there just before, weren't we, on the top of the deck at the back there. So that's the scale of the ship. So, and the saucer makes sense. It's nice and easy to kind of work it. Okay, so it's 210 meters by 200 meters. Okay, I wasn't a bad guess, was it? That's awesome. Okay, so that gives you the size of the ship. So meaty, but not huge. And so we've got a number of decks. So presumably this is A deck or deck A. So I'd say there's B, C. That looks like a twin deck. So D and E, and then there must. Oh, we can't see underneath at the moment because of the sun. Let's rotate the ship round. Maybe an F and a G deck, maybe? Or maybe just an F deck. I'm not sure. Difficult to tell from here. Well, I guess we'll find that out as we go exploring the ship. So we've just had a look round at the top section there. And we're here, presumably in Earth orbit at the moment with our Starship. Very cool. Okay, there's a shuttle bay at the back which will have multiple support craft. Okay, so that's presumably in the middle there, with some kind of force field. Okay. Oh, or maybe that bit on top. Actually, look, there's a bunch of windows at the back of that section. We haven't been there yet. At the opposite end of the bridge, there's a viewing gallery over the back of the ship. We've got to go and have a look at that. Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like... Oh, and a bar recreational area at the front. Oh, there, yeah, look, it's got windows. Oh, so you can look at the front of the ship. I mean, that makes an awful lot of sense. So that's, you know, it's not 10 forward, but that's the park. Okay, so there's like a kind of arboretum-y type thing on board the ship that we'll presumably find. That must be what? So hang on, A, B, C, D, and E deck. I would guess that is. Oh, yes, I'm sold. This is good. Right. Okay. Let's before we try and move the ship, let's go and see what else is on board the ship. So there's obviously space here where other stuff is going to go at some point. Oh, there's a control panel there. So what does that do? Window control. Oh, that's the polarization filter. Okay, so we can damp it down if there's something really bright in the vicinity. Because presumably, if we're going for a 1.1 scale galaxy, there's going to be stuff like pulsars and, you know, crazily bright objects. You know, some of the stars, the white dwarf stars and things like that will be. You know, we wouldn't want to go up near one of those without the polarization filter. I wouldn't have thought. Yeah, first point of call, find the coffin ship. Well, it's a British Starship, so there's going to be some D somewhere, I would hope. Well, let's find out. Windows in the Starship. Yeah, I've had that discussion on Twitch, actually. Not on Twitch, on Twitter about windows on the Starship. And but presumably they're made of like super advanced transparent metal of some kind. Like transparent emium of some kind. Only a weakness if they're made of glass. Exactly. So we'll make them out of some super alloy, which is just as strong as the rest of the ship. That's the way to do it. Okay, so where are we now? Okay, so that's lettering on the door which says command deck restricted access, which sort of makes sense. There is kind of a recreational area there with a bottle of wine. A wine bottle. And there's an apple, there's food, there's wine. This bodes well. Is there a space bar? Because that's desperately important part of a space game. Okay, so we can kind of look out. I love the way we can look outside to the aspect of the ship that you would see from that perspective. I find that stuff impressive. I know it's an aspect of 3D modelling. So there's a lift. Okay, that's the first lift we've seen. Oh, that goes up and down. Nice. There's another one over here. No wine on this side, so that's good. And there's... Okay, so there's a multi-level viewing gallery here. Okay, and those are the windows we saw from the outside, looking aft over the back of the ship. That's nice. It's a very clean aesthetic, isn't it? It's very smart. Okay, so the stairs down. Obviously, anti-gravity is a thing in this universe as well. Is that lift sort of automatic, or is it being triggered by my... Let's go down the lift. Okay, here it comes. Doors open. Whoosh. Nice. The panel doesn't... Oh, it's just... I think it's automatic. Okay. So we're now at the lower level. There's a bar! There's a bar. Okay, so the lift is work in progress, so that's just a test. Okay, so the lift is just going up on that side. Oh, look at the lighting as well. Sort of there's a bar. Oh, you can even stand behind them. I'm sold. It's got a space bar. It's important to have a space bar on a starship. Oh, and they've got wine for obviously the off-duty officers. And of course it's physicalized, isn't it? So I can pick up the bottle of wine, if necessary, throw it around. But we won't do that. Okay, let's put down. Is that a beer? Oh, there's a beer. There's space beer. Oh, look at that. Oops. I'll sort that out in a minute. So yeah, so we can actually serve a beer. I can pick up the wine bottle and put it back on the... That visualization is going to be great fun. Okay, so now if I grab it by the top, it should... Oh, look at... Yes. Can I? No. I'm going to have to practice that, I think. Oh, I can stand the beer bottle up the right way. Ah, yes. Right, can I tidy the... Sorry, I'm just a bit of a perfectionist with these things. Yes. Let's put it back the way it was found. Oh, look at that. Okay, so there's a space bar. That's very, very good. Don't break the bottles, no. A bit down, all lifters get drunk, get a drink. Unlike yes. There's no point having a space bar if you can't actually have a drink. So it's nice to see that stuff's in there. So there's a space, there's a sort of space lounge. Look at that. So we could park somewhere really picturesque and just admire the view. And that's an important part of space exploration. It's just finding the views, isn't it? So we're looking presumably now. I'm just putting my astronomer hat on here and seeing. Have you made the constellations correct? I'm just trying to work out where because of course I don't know which way up we are, or I can't recognize. Oh, hang on a minute. There's a bunch of quite bright stars over there. I'm just trying to see if there's a nebulosity there. You see, that could be the southern hemisphere, which I don't know very well. So I'm not sure what I'm looking for. I was hoping to see something like a... Okay, so Dan says right now it's using the Hipparchus catalogue of stars within 50 light years of Earth, and the rest are procedural. Okay, so you've imported known stars. Okay, and it's hard to see the constellation to add a bit more real data. Okay, so... but that's nice. Okay, so realistic galaxy out as far as we know, but... beyond that, obviously, it's going to make... Well, who knows, right? I was going to say, I was wondering if that was one of the Magellanic Clouds, and if it is, that means that's south is currently up from the orientation of the spaceship. Obviously, there's no up or down in space, so it kind of doesn't matter. And we can chill in the lounge. So there we go. So that's nice, isn't it? So if it's multiplayer and we've all got different jobs, so we can be on and off duty and do stuff, and then somebody could be flying the ship, presumably, while we're just chilling in the lounge and stuff, and we're going on an exploration jaunt in the Starship. We like. Okay, so, and this is just the top level of the ship, isn't it? So this is a big environment. So what have we got over here? Okay, so there's some sort of rooms here. Okay, so these are, I suppose, sort of hold spare chairs, I'm thinking here. Maybe a Christmas tree. Okay, so kind of under construction stuff, we can see these would be storerooms, or maybe the mess, or maybe even the loos, because you've got to boldly go where no one's gone before, right? And looks like we're prepared for that space janitor. So again, presumably, I mean, whether we even need to go to the realism of having space loos that actually work, I don't know, but at least there's some toilet paper ready for us when we do, which is excellent. Can I? No. Oh, I don't know. I mucked it up. Definitely space papers. That's good. I need that to mold later. So yes, so that's good. Okay, so you can see that's, I'm guessing, kind of work in progress stuff. There's space here which needs to be filled by space. Sorry, by stuff. Presumably that's going to be similar on the other side. So we've got storerooms. So, but you can have a kitchen in here. You can have mess halls. You can have, I don't know, maybe the medical. Oh, look, there's donuts. There's food. Okay, so presumably this is a placeholder for medical, not for medical, for food storage and prep, and maybe the, like you say, the aforementioned necessities of space travel. So there's actually apples, green apples, red apples, potatoes. Very health conscious, actually, wherever this is set. So, is that some cookies? There's some donuts. Excellent. I think we should have the pink donut. There we go. There's a pink donut. Very nice. And watermelons. Looks like there's some cookies in the middle. Can we get a cookie? There is. We can get a cookie. Okay, there we can have a cookie. I like the mouse scroll wheel for moving things in and out. That's a clever piece of thinking, that is. Because then you've got control of distance, which is nice. Okay, so that's the baguette's very important for space journeys. Okay, so there's another door in the middle here, which is, hang on. So this is, where are we? That's the back of the ship. So this is now facing the front of the ship, isn't it? And it's telling us where we are. Okay, so location B deck, which is one level down from the bridge. Administration and staterooms. Okay, so this is the sort of posh bit of the ship. So this must be the central core, the axis of the ship. I'm guessing this sort of central, I don't know what to call it really. Core, maybe? That will be a galley, says Dan. Okay, brilliant. Okay. Can you smash the watermelons? Chef gameplay will happen with there and in the crew's main base. Okay, wow, fantastic. Okay, so I'm guessing this is not lit, but this I would be guessing, because I haven't seen, there's a lift at the back, but I'm guessing this will be a turbo lift or something. I can't call it a turbo lift, can we? A lift, which allows you to quickly move access. You can jump down the lift. It will be a lift. Okay, so it's a lift at the moment, but it's obviously not been devved. So, okay, that makes sense. So you can go to the central core, a super lift. Yeah, yeah. Instead of turbo lift, a supercharged lift. That's what we want. We definitely have a super lift. So the stairs down to the next level. So I like the greenery as well. That's nice. Okay, so this central core, and then there's an access panel there. So presumably things like this might get damaged and could be fixed. I do have a problem with lifts. Yeah, I like to have stairs. It's one thing in Star Citizen, isn't it? Lifts for everything. There's no stairs. Well, there are stairs, but there's no emergency alternatives to the lifts. Turbo is so 70s and 80s. Yeah, so that's a screen of some kind which isn't working at the moment. Needs to be. So the staterooms are kind of large. So this is moving out to the edge of the saucer again, and so the staterooms are so they're again work in progress. But you can see that'll be, you can imagine a posh bed, maybe an ensuite there, with a nice view out into space, of course. Oh, there's the Earth. out of that window. So we're still looking out over the main hull at this point. Very nice. Okay. So if you've got some posh dignitaries on board, or the troublesome admiral, which is always a feature, you've got somewhere to put them. Okay. And some of these are less lit. Okay, so you've got different sized staterooms. Okay, so this is kind of posh accommodation on the ship. Now we're moving around this central thing, so somewhere here will be the front of the ship. But because it's such a big place, it's quite hard to orientate. I think that's looking forward. So I think, oh yeah, because there's the windows of the garden, I think it was said, wasn't it? This looks interesting. What is this game? This is Django Live, first time chat. Hello, welcome to the stream. This is Starship Simulator. It's a is it pre-alpha? Is that the right? Right. So it's not a release game at the moment. We're kind of having a look at it because it's kind of new and exciting. Okay, so that one is slightly left of centre. Looks like there's a bulkhead between those two rooms. So this is this here then therefore is the front of the ship from this deck. Okay. Yeah, so VIP quarters. So yeah, so this is where all the super posh people would tell you what this feels like, because the game is obviously still being built. This feels like the ship is in sort of dry dock and is being refitted for an extended 5-year mission or something. So it feels like the interiors have been ripped out. And the ship is being upgraded. Okay, so we can walk around. So that's, you can kind of see what the idea here is. Different staterooms for different visiting dignitaries. Okay, so we will have a lift that will allow us access to different levels, but it's not working yet. But we do have the stairs. That's back where we came from. We can see the other lift. So we can go down the stairs. Do the stairs work? Stairs quite often kill you in Star Citizen, but these ones seem to be... Oh, Deck C Science Labs. Ooh. Oh, that's a very swish starship, isn't it? So this has got almost. I'm just thinking through science fiction, what the influences are here. This feels a little bit. I think like Space 1999 in terms of its inspiration. Very much still in the alpha, says Dan Glover. Okay, so but it's a lovely clean aesthetic. I like that, and we can zoom in on the carpet and stuff. Look at that. And there's actually texture. I mean, obviously the carpet's got texture. There's actually texture to the wall as well. The light panel is that gives me a very, yeah, actually 2001, that's possibly even closer. So the metal framework is exactly like real world yachts and such, so wall panels are generally bolted to the superstructure. Okay, so there's some, I mean, I'm not an architect, so but so you've actually got structural components here which are kind of holding things together. So here's the lift on this floor. Okay, so the lifts are kind of stuck in motion, they're switched off at the moment. Okay, so this is the same. Now this is a much bigger deck because we're now, I think, on the top floor of the main saucer. So here we're going to have, so this is, well, it was a science, wasn't it? So this looks like we've got space for labs and all sorts of stuff here. And I suppose these pillars are structural components of the ship, which is interesting. So this is the central, and there are passages off, like spokes away from the central hub. I'm going to call it a hub because that seems to me to be. So different rooms. So these are going to be laboratories or something where we can do sciencey stuff. I tell you what, 200 meters in diameter. Is that right? 200 meters. Yeah, so 200 meters in diameter. It's a good size. It's not so big that you're going to get lost, but it's not too small that there isn't space to do things. There's plenty of space on here for multiple players simultaneously doing stuff. And I suppose you've also got, okay, we've almost walked all the way around there, haven't we? You've also got the kind of, if I'm in one part of the ship and I need to get to another part of the ship, it's going to take me a certain amount of time to move around. Plenty of room for activity. Sorry, that wasn't supposed to come across like that. Each object you retrieve from planets will require a specific type of lab to study it and unlock its secrets. Okay, so I can imagine there's chemical laboratories, I don't know, all sorts of different things. So that's the rear of the ship. So this would be sort of kind of thinking of a clock. This is sort of 4 or 5 o'clock in this direction. So this is the outer circle of this hull. So aft and starboard. Okay, here we go. So here's an idea of some of the labs that might be coming up. So aft is to be completed. Starboard is quantum physics and astrophysics. So we actually have labs dedicated to particular types of science. Okay, so that's nice. And presumably these windows are looking out across. Okay, so that's near the edge of the hull, but not quite at the edge of the hull. Okay, so there's loads of space to put labs in. Okay, so I like that. So astrophysics labs, where we could presumably study stellar phenomena and take measurements of emissions and, you know, study stellar things and stuff like that. Lots of science there. So okay, so we're walking around the outside perimeter. Okay, so quantum mechanics and astrophysics. So forward is linguistics and to be confirmed. So okay, so if we encounter an alien species, well, we have to learn how to translate things, and that's gonna be. I can see some fun gameplay trying to decode procedurally generated foreign languages. That's going to be quite exciting. And then so plenty of space, as you can see, to be completed. But you're going to get a nice view out there, aren't you? So while we're doing science, we're still looking out the window, and presumably the ship can be travelling around as we're doing stuff. So I mean, I'm the only person on board the Starship, which does remind me of an episode of Star Trek. There's an episode of Star Trek actually where Kirk is alone on the Enterprise. So yeah, I'm the only person here. I'm assuming we haven't got any NPCs in the game at the moment. So that's forward. Now we're heading down the port side, oceanography and something else. Okay, so lots and lots of different types of science gets conducted on this deck. So we have science because it's an exploration vessel. Yeah, that model of we'll have a closer look on the external view. We can see a bit more of it. The model of Earth does look nice, doesn't it? So I don't know which bit of the Earth we're looking at there. I don't recognise that coastline. I can't quite see enough of it. Is that? We'll figure that out. I'd like to figure that one out when we get up there. Okay, so we've got a science deck there, and this takes us back to the central hub. Yeah, I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but that's what we're going to do. So you'll be burning along at full throttle and still do everything on the ship as if you were stationary. Okay, so obviously the ship has anti-gravity. That's a thing in this universe. So the ship can be being navigated by other people in the crew, and we can be sitting down doing linguistics or astrophysics, or of course having a space beer. So nice. Okay, so deck C, right? So deck D in my head is the bottom part. No, this is bigger. Okay, so hang on. Deck A was the bridge. Deck B was the ambassador's quarters. Deck C is science, which was bigger but not the entire width of the ship yet. So D and E are the top and bottom deck of the main saucer, from what I saw from the external view. Okay, so lifts are locked in the stationary position. So this deck should be absolutely enormous. So let's just wander around the central hub. Okay, what have we got here? Okay, so we've got crew quarters here. Okay, so this is going to be more compact, obviously, than the ambassador's quarters. Okay, so you can imagine that will just be kitted out with a bed and a terminal and stuff. So lots of crew cabins. So okay, so what size crew would this ship expect to have? I mean, it's 200 meters in diameter, so it could. I mean, how many? Presumably, some of them will be NPCs as well. 200 crew. Okay. Wow. Okay. So some of the crew get quarters here in the central core, and presumably there's these. Okay, so this takes us right down. Okay, so this will take us. So there's 3 circular corridors in the main saucer. Then there's in one, and then the middle one, and then the outer one, which will be the biggest one. So this is presumably just more of the same. And presumably there's a pecking order to. Do you get a slightly bigger room out here, or it's just the same but more of them? Okay, so everyone will have their place to kind of So, so, so yeah. So that's a good question, Glenn. So does that mean the idea is when you join in the multiplayer, you replace an NPC? Okay, so the crew, there will be 200 crew regardless, and they'll all be NPCs depending on the number of multiple players. We've tested up to a dozen players, but it's session based like Minecraft. The amount of players is down to the hosting hardware and connectivity. Okay. Ooh. So I can basically have myself. I can play it kind of single player, and the NPCs will do everything else. Or I can go with a bunch of mates and we can choose which roles we want to play, and the rest of the NPCs will adapt around us. That's a nice idea. I like that. Okay, so let's go to the outer edge of the saucer then. So at this size, the curvature of the outside of the ship is at its minimum because it's so big. So presumably these quarters are the best ones because they have an external view. Or not. So no windows. Maybe they're not in yet, or I thought we were on. Are we? I'm not at the edge. We're really only halfway. Oh wait, okay, so I missed something then. So hang on, this ship is huge then, isn't it? So there must be another external. Oh, there is. Okay, so there's not 3 rings. There's 4. Okay, that hasn't been finished yet. So here's another one. Okay, so there's 4 corridors. Okay, so this looks like a part of the ship that hasn't been entirely built yet. Oh, hang on. This must be the back of the ship. Is this the back where the engines will be and the shuttle bay? You're about to enter the unfinished zone. Okay, so this looks like where. Yeah, I think we. Okay, so you can see this is under construction. So this is sort of shuttle bays and the engines themselves. Okay, so you can sort of see where the shuttle bay is going to be, which is huge. Okay, so we've got to be a bit careful we don't fall out of the ship by going somewhere. So we can kind of, looks like there's a force field guarding the outside edge of the shuttle bay, which makes sense. Yep. So that's the rear. If you go round the edge, you'll find the shuttle bay. Okay, round the edge. Let's go round the edge. I think that's a dead end. Yeah. Okay, let's go back the other way. I mean, 200 meters by 200 meters doesn't sound very much, but it's a big area, isn't it? Okay, let's be careful going into dark spaces. I feel this feels quite spooky now. Bad stuff happens in dark starships. Oh yeah, I need to go down the stairs. Okay, did I miss some stairs down? There's upstairs. Didn't see any downstairs. Yeah, I might get eaten by something. That always happens. Is there another way down the level? Oh, there's the stairs there. Okay. Alright, so obviously, like I say, not finished yet. But this, whoops. I think I fell off into non-existence there. Okay, so the lighting just changes as we step off. Okay. Okay, so this is the shuttle bay into the unfinished zone. It looks it looks very dangerous now. Okay, so we don't want to muck about too much in the unfinished zone because I'm going to get lost and better find my way back. Let's see if I can find my way back to the stairs. Okay, so we can see what's also going to be worked on. Okay, so we're now down level. All right, let's go back into the main part of the ship. Okay, this allows us to quickly get back up to the level above. I'm curious, are there cabins then? You can always Alt 1 if you want to telepack to the bridge. Okay, well that's useful as a shortcut. Okay, so the crew quarters on the outside. Oh, hang on. So that's the rear of the ship. Let's go round a bit. Maybe I can find. So this isn't the outside bulkhead of the ship at the moment. Is there? So that was the. So there should be the forest at the front. Now this presumably, if that was the back end of the ship, this should be. Are we at the front? It's difficult to tell where you are, isn't it? You could do with these occasional screens on the wall telling you roughly where you are on the ship. That would be quite useful. So I'm guessing what's this? Is this the front of the ship? Or, no, looks like more are we still at the back? I'm confused as to where I am now. There will be wall panel maps, which you'll see when you get to F deck. Oh, okay. I'm not quite sure what we're looking at there. Let's keep going around. I get a feeling that must just be the side of the ship. It's big, isn't it? When we talk about ship interiors. Okay, now I'm guessing. Look, this is the front. This is the front of the ship. Okay, so this is the garden you were talking about. Okay, so this is a double deck thing, which has some nice trees in, which is nice. So, look at that. Okay, so we can stand at the front of the ship here. Presumably there'll be like a lounge or, you know, dare I say it, a space bar again. And we can look out at whatever it is that the ship has approached. That's really nice. Oh, that's actually, that's been done for VR, hasn't it? My wife would utterly hate that. For this, it's actually, so it's a glass fronted. That's really nice. So we can kind of get a really nice view of Earth. I'm trying to figure, I'm just still trying to figure out what part of Earth we're looking at there. I'm trying to work out what that coastline is. Does anybody recognise it? Step out on the glass. I think I already am. Look, yeah, I am. You can step up to the wall, and you're literally in space. That's a lovely place to stand and just. Is the Pacific? Is it? So is that Japan there? Central America. Yeah. Okay, so that's really nice. Very nice. Okay, so that's a double. Yeah, so this is a double height window. So this is. Let me get this right. A, B, C, D, and E deck here. It is the Pacific, not the Pacific. It's the Pacific. It's a tall room. So that's nice to have a room that's double height, giving you a sense of scale. Okay, so presumably we're now on E deck. So there should be only one more deck. Let's keep going around the way because we've been around that way. Now we need to get back to the central hub in order to find our way down again. Here we go. Okay, I'm starting to get. It's actually quite intuitive, a saucer, isn't it? Oh, it goes down to G. Okay, G deck. So hang on. Okay, we'll find out. Right, so here's the central core. But I mean, just as in real life, I suppose, if there's something going on and you suddenly get captain requires you on the bridge, it's going to take you 5 minutes to get there, isn't it? So is the teleport option, is that just for convenience now while you're kind of debugging things, or is it for is it the intention that you would teleport around the ship to important things? Because I quite like the idea of not having that. Just sorry, I'll be there in 5 minutes because the ship's too damn big, Spaceball style. If I don't run, the movie will be over. Teleport is debug. Okay, so running around is good. Okay, so the teleport is debugging you. Yeah. Okay, so this is the engineering deck. Okay, so this is where the other cool stuff happens. Okay, so where the floors change to a sort of much more industrial kind of non-slip surface, much more pragmatic. And there's no trees and things down here. You don't want engineering cluttered up with trees and stuff. This is cool. Okay, so elevator in the middle, of course. So what happens on the engineering? Oh, hang on. There we go. Look, crew information. That's what we need. Okay, so you are here. I like that. So what have we got on here? Okay, so there's a reactor room in the middle. Engineering control, life support, storage, fuel and coolant pump room, a forward battery, starboard battery, port battery, aft battery. So there's 8 sets of batteries. Those are, I'm assuming that's not weapon batteries. That's presumably, I don't know, sort of auxiliary power or something like that. Is that what? Are they actually batteries? So storage is where we are. So if we went down there and turned right, that should be storage. But around the edge, our battery. Oh, I can see some consoles and stuff in there. Okay, so is that will this door open for us? Oh, it does. Okay, so what's in here? Okay, so we've got what have we got here? Okay, so actual consoles. Okay, so these are batteries. Okay, so this is where the ship's reserve power is going to be kept. Okay, and so we can connect and disconnect, unmount batteries and recharge batteries. Main break. Oh, so everything has to work hard. So this is what you were talking about when you said it was all cabled up. This is very nice, isn't it? Okay, so it's basically, okay, so battery array 001 has taken some damage. Get it offline, otherwise it's going to short circuit half the ship. Then boom. So we can actually disconnect things. Does it work at the moment? Oh, it does. Oh my god. I've just disconnected the main brake. Feels like it should be a big handle. Okay, so I can switch the batteries on. So the gameplay possibilities here. If we have an issue with the ship and we need to transfer power from one place to another, we have to manually go and do it. It's not just a menu. We actually have to physically do stuff. That's very cool. We like that. That's really exciting. Gameplay possibilities of doing that. Oh, I like that. I mean, that appeals to the the interactivity and the engineering and stuff. Okay, we need to get a whole bunch of batteries. Oh yes, I can see what you're doing with this. I'm now very, very excited. Okay, so there's a bunch of batteries around the lower edge of the engineering section. So let's go back to the map. What else was here? So then if you go into the reactor, if you go walk into the reactor and you'll glow. Oh, we'll get to. There's a reactor in the centre. Is the reactor there? Well, no spoilers. We'll see if we can find it. Life support. Okay, so life support is an empty room at the moment. So presumably there's going to be life supporty stuff in there. All their pumps and air purifiers and carbon dioxide scrubbers and that sort of stuff. Okay, there's something in there though. What's that one? So hang on a minute. Look at the map again. So we are now. Okay, fuel pump and coolant room is here. This is the fuel pump and coolant room. So there's actually some mechanics in here. Good grief. Okay, so all of the aspects. This is what you were saying about all aspects of the ship have been thought about and you have to manage. Okay, so this is actually doing some stuff. Look at that. Tank fluid level, tank temperature 4K, tank pressure 20 bar, open input valve, open output valve, bleed valve. I better not touch any of those because I'll blow something up. Throughput in milliliters, chiller unit. Okay, so this reminds me. Now I've spent a bit of. I'll tell you what this reminds me of. I've spent a bit of time in my career working in data centers, and this is what this reminds me of. Is working in a data center where you've got to manage a bunch of stuff to keep all your computers cool. Whereas of course this is going to be that much more sophisticated in some ways because you've got all the. You're running the cables. Okay, so you've got multiple levels where stuff happens, and you can. So it's going to be multiple full-time jobs keeping the Starship running because there's stuff to do. I've just gone down the deck, haven't I? So there's multiple decks there. Those stairs aren't quite working. Let's go, just in case we glitch something. So this is actually the lowest deck we've just dropped into now. Oh, Dan, I like what you're doing here. This is very good. Heat management, yeah, from left to right. Helium coolant, helium-3 fuel. Okay. And then 2 deuterium fuel tanks. The reactor fuses helium-3 and deuterium because it's aneutronic, no harmful radiation. Okay, so you're using fusion power to generate electricity directly, or using a little bit of space magic, but or what? Because it's not steam. It's not a steam generator, I'm assuming. That sounds far too low tech. I thought it was going to not let me through the door there. Okay, so that's the coolant room. So do the pumps have access panels? Now there was some talk about Jeffries tubes and things as well. I haven't seen anything that I'd recognise as a Jeffries tube yet, but I've heard talk. So, guys, look, what is that? Is that the reactor? She's got a reactor. Okay, so engineering control is there, but I've just seen the reactor, so engineering control hasn't been done. There's a reactor room. So there's like a, it's not a core, but it's a core, but it's a fusion. It's a fusion device. Okay, so what's this showing me here? Okay, electrical reactor, coolant flow, deuterium flow, helium-3 flow, reaction efficiency, reaction output 1.15 gigawatts. I think that should be 1.21 gigawatts, don't you? Can't be a Jeffrey tube. Maybe we'll check the forward battery array. Okay, so main distribution. Okay, there's a start fusion, stop fusion. So presumably it's fusing at the moment because it's got an output of 1.15 gigawatts. Coil temperature is 4.7 Kelvin. Cooling per tick 1K. We call them maintenance tunnels, not Jeffrey's tubes. Excellent. So they do exist. So if I stop that, I've just switched off the ship's power. How long will it run on batteries, I wonder? Okay, let's probably switch it back on. So I can switch on and off the reactor. And look at that. Okay, that's now spanning multiple decks as well, isn't it? Okay, so hang on. Let's get a view here. So this is drops down to deck G. This is deck F. That's E, and that's C deck, I'm guessing. So the reactor kind of sits in the core of the ship, which is the most protected part of the ship, I guess, because it's absolutely in the centre, so it's least likely to get damaged by anything from the outside. That's lovely, isn't it? And there's a control panel. I like the fire extinguisher. F deck forward, so that's giving us a little bit of indication where we are. And what's this panel do? G deck distribution. Okay, so main distribution frame. So this basically allows us to connect or disconnect power to various parts of the ship. So we could, if we knew where ring 1 was, we could, well, we can disconnect power to parts of the ship. Doesn't work at the moment, but that's kind of the plan. Wow, okay. And you've got test circuits, load, fault. Okay, so you can see where damage is. If the ship gets hit or damaged or something happens, you can see which part to isolate, so you can disconnect it while you do some repairs. Nice, we like that. What's this thing on the end here? Does that mean something? Is that sort of a fuse or a shunt or a relay or something? And does that... Okay, so here's look at the electrical cabling. So does this mean that we can potentially unplug or reroute things actually physically? If you turn off the top right button, the corridor lights will go out. Okay, so if you turn off the top right button, top right, that one, have I disconnected it? I don't know if I have or not. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing there. Can you load Kindle ebooks on that screen? Oh, it looks like that's not working right now. Okay, no worries. So we could switch off power to various parts of the ship. Some of those panels are currently being overhauled while I build a tutorial for. Okay. I like the gameplay possibilities there. Okay, so some of these panels are working, some of them aren't. So we've got multiple. Okay, so G deck distribution forward. That's star. Okay, so there's cargo crates as well. Various different panels that allow you to control all sorts of stuff. Okay, so this is multiple panels allow you to control the same thing, I'm guessing. So is there a way? There is a way down. Over there, I walked past it. So there's stairs up. There's also stairs down to the bottom. Okay, and here's another panel which looks, again, it's different. Okay, so what we got here, main distribution frame on the starboard side. So there's no load. B deck, okay, so A deck, so I can disconnect the bridge. Oh, I have as well. Switch. Oh, it even clicked. It took a moment to do so. I literally just switched off power to the bridge, I think. Okay, so let me switch that back on. So, okay, so that's the power back on. So the main distribution frames on GDEC will actually turn off the electric. Okay, turn off the one with the warning light to clear the fault. Where's the warning light? see it. I don't see a fault, but oh, I did it. That was it, was it? Sorry, because I can switch the bridge off. And there's a load balancer to the batteries. This is very sophisticated. I like this. I like this. And then what, we may be able to unplug panels and things. So this is actually proper conduits. Oh, actually it's color coded. Look. So that's showing us. So we could follow. Oh my gosh! I'm just starting to see the things here. So that one there is color coded yellow. It's showing no load. So if we've got knowledge of where the ship architecture goes, that cable goes up to that deck. We can follow it through to the other end, and presumably there's some damage. If there is some damage in between the two ends, that's where we go fix it. I like the gameplay possibilities of this. Okay, so this is the main reactor. Looking at it from the ground, so I feel that we've got to go up to the top as well, because. I love the way this feels like. I mean, the engine room of a starship. I love the fact that there's some stuff to do here. And then there we are at the top, looking down at the rest of the. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? In a nutshell, each deck. Okay, so this is interesting. Once the tutorial is finished, it'll make a lot more sense. Yeah, I can sort of get the ideas. A 4-story tall reactor. It's fantastic. So in a nutshell, each deck is split into 4 quadrants, and there's a distributor for each quadrant. Each quadrant is fed by 2 battery rooms. Okay, so you've got redundant power supplies. But presumably you're thinking that, if we have damage on the starboard side, we can reroute power. And all that whole reroute the power to the auxiliary thingamajigs, bypass the what's-its, Oh, imagine the captain being able to issue that order. We can actually go down into engineering and make it happen. So the ship is a nuclear power plant with added accessories, yeah. So we can't get out here, can we? So we have to go back. I really like that. That looks amazing. And the performance of the game is really good as well. I mean, presumably you've got a bunch of potential optimization and all sorts of stuff to do, but it plays really nicely. So we'll leave that on. I've just realised we've just spent an hour and 20 minutes, and we're just literally touring the ship. We haven't even thought about moving it anywhere. So this is still F deck. So there's another deck below, or is this the bottom of the ship? So there's no further stairs there. But was the bottom of G deck? One of the rooms had a. Okay, through the base of the reactor. Okay, so I missed something there. Let's go back to the reactor room. Downstairs. Okay, so is this it? Okay, so through the reactor room there is a door. Okay, oh yeah, there is. So this is literally the bottom of the ship, effectively. Okay, so this is the base floor of the ship. Okay, so we've still got rooms for which purposes are still being defined. Yeah. And oh look, this is not a Jeffries tube. Okay, so we can we go in? Oh, you can. Okay. Crawl down access corridors. Oh, into weird and off limits normal part of the ships. And then you can see, look, here's a cable that's been routed down here. So presumably the intention is to be able to unplug cables and reroute them and stuff. Okay, so there's just a labyrinth. Oh, and there's consoles down here as well. Distributor. Okay, this is what the distributors usually were talking about. Okay, so we can fix things at the bottom of the ship. So some poor engineering souls with the red shirts have got to crawl into these claustrophobic spaces to fix things. I like and find ways to make the ship explode. Oh no! So this is Labyrinthian. This is, isn't it? Oh, imagine having to work down here when the power's failed. And there's all sorts of weird and wacky space inside the ship, isn't there? So if you lose, if you, yeah, I know, you get boarded by some weird alien thing, because that always happens in these sort of shows, doesn't it? And it gets into the access corridors. You've got serious problems trying to find it. I tell you what, I was half expecting down there, and I'm sure the temptation has been. I can't half expected to kind of come across some jumpers, because this makes no logical sense. But there aren't any jumpers, at least not yet. So, which is probably a good thing. Oh wow, okay. So these are not shipwrecks, the maintenance tunnels. Okay, but it allows you to do that whole. But that's down on G deck, so yeah, you could definitely get a lot of tribbles down here. So exciting! Well, I want to boldly split infinitives and stuff. So is this the front of the ship? We definitely need those guides that tell you. Oh, those look like places you could smuggle some contraband in there. Never used them myself. Didn't expect to be smuggling myself in them. Oh no, that's another show. Let's not talk about that one either. Okay, so we're in different parts. Parts of the ship here that haven't been built. So this is an xenomorph in here. It's right by. Wait, I mean, it's claustrophobic, isn't it, with the lights off? And if you've got to go down here to fix some stuff, and presumably, when the ship is in the midst of doing something. I mean, it's amazing how something that is 200 meters in diameter, which isn't that much, is surprisingly big. Okay, now I really like that. I love the fact that there's some maintenance tunnels that allow you to get access to ship stuff, and then, if necessary, fix things. Okay, so to get back up through the ship, we've got to. Let's just change the camera. So this is the third person view. Okay, so this is my science lady with her British patch on her arm. That was brilliant. I love the British patch. It's a British starship, damn it. That doesn't work too badly, actually. That's the coolant thing. Was there anything else on this deck that was here? 200 meters is like 2 football fields in American units. What's the British unit? Isn't it the size of Wales or something? It's obviously quite a lot smaller than the size of Wales. Okay, so it's mostly reactor. Okay, so you can kind of see the potential here. So let's go back up to the bridge. Oh, I can kind of. Oh, that's quite nice. I can zoom in and out quite close. So I'm sort of looking over her shoulder now. Habitation decks. Okay, so we saw those. It'd keep you fit, this ship, wouldn't it, if you didn't use the lifts? I'd be exhausted by now. Lieutenant Alessia Verdi, why aren't you on the bridge? I'm still on C deck, I'm exhausted. Okay, the 4th camera mode allows you to turn around and look at yourself as selfie. Oh, that's a nice touch. Okay, so that one? Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so we can do selfies. So there we are, Alessia Verdi. She's looking exhausted after walking around the ship. That's a nice touch as well. I like that. Okay. Oh, there we are. We're now near the top of the ship. Okay, so get a sense of it's a nice size. It's not too huge, but it's big enough that you feel there's plenty of stuff to be done. Okay, so we're going to have to do a number of streams of this because we haven't even moved the ship yet. Let's go to the bridge. Okay, we're in the solar system, so maybe today's. I've just worked out what we're looking at. That is North America up there, isn't it? I finally figured it out. I can't see it from this angle. Yeah, that's North America. That's the Gulf of Mexico up there. I think. Is that Florida coastline? Cuba and stuff there? That feels about right. It's time for a stop at the space bar. Right, so Okay, so let's try. I love the idea of the hologram in the middle here, which is sort of showing everybody where you are and what you're doing. So that's a nice touch. Let's have a look. So that's the external view of the ship, which we can roll. Oh, we can yaw and pitch. Okay, can we roll it? Is there a way to? So I've got yaw, got pitch, Q and E for roll. Ah, perfect. Okay, so we can orientate ourselves any way we like. Okay, nice. Okay, so let's have a look at the console here. Okay, so what have we got? We've got navigation, so ship coordinates. Let's zoom in. Galactic X, Galactic Y, and Galactic Z in light years, I'm assuming, and then local X, Y, and Z. Okay, so you've got two coordinate systems, one for kind of macro and one for close things. So navigation, distance to whatever the target is, the ETA, obviously dependent on the speed. So okay, so ship, this is where we are, and this is where we're set to go to. Okay, so we can actually navigate down to the kilometre and then do some data entry. Use sensor target, so presumably that's the sensor station which was over there, which allows us to set a target. Okay, so that's navigation. Then we've got the FTL system, so this is minimum accelerate, maximum field power, velocity, target speed in kilometers per second, power draw, reactor now available 1.21 gigawatts. Great Scott! Yep. Notice the power available isn't yet reading from the reactor. No, so the reactor draw vector power available 1.21 gigawatts. Excellent. Okay, so that's the FTL system. Is there like a sublight drive as well? Okay, so RCS translation. Oh, sublight engines is there, which isn't happening. Hasn't happened yet. Okay, so it's not available. Pitch down. That means I can maneuver the ship using touch controls as well. Okay, that's nice. Roll left. Yeah. Okay, that's quite cool. Autopilot then. So auto navigation, engage, disengage, orbital positioning, target type, Earth, light, terrestrial, planet. Makes sense. Yeah. Navigation target on, sensor target on, closest stars, system object. So I can switch. So this sort of hologrammatic HUD that I've got in front of me, I can switch things on and off. Oh, that's nice as well. So if I don't want my view of space cluttered by things, I can switch them off. I like that. Okay, so it's showing us the system objects. Jupiter, Pluto, Mercury, Venus, Mars. Kind of all makes sense. Okay. So if I want to go to Jupiter, how do I have to go to the sensor station to? That seems to be logical because there's no way, unless I know what the coordinates are, I can't enter them in, can I? So I'm guessing I'm going over here. Okay, so science sensors, galactic position, stellar region. Oh, the hologram in the center has changed. Okay. So I can see land 21185, yeah. Wolf 359. Don't think we'll go there. It's not good. Wolf 359. Barnard Star. There's a good roundabout there. GL244B Sirius. And Alpha Centauri. Okay. Oh, and then I can display the. Oh my goodness, man! Look at that. That's really pretty. So I can go up to 10 light years, or I can go up to 20 light years. Oh, that's really nice. Oh look, we could go to Lacaille 9352. I wonder what's there. Ooh, I like the idea of exploring actual space, Captain Star. There's a really good set of science fiction novels that are coming up set in this sort of part of space. Just saying, FYI. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Wow, okay, so and we can zoom out to, well, yeah, 50 light years in this mode, and that just gives us basically the entire local cluster of stars. Very nice. Okay, so that's a lovely way of visualizing it. Then we can do star system, which presumably is the solar system, kind of orrery. Yep, okay, nice. Yeah. So it shows us that we're in the central part of the solar system. There's Saturn, Jupiter, and so on and so forth. Yep, like that. Planetary and focus target mode are not available at the moment. Okay, so now we've got 10 targets in sensor range. So if we said Jupiter, target information, class 1 gas giant famous for a giant red storm. Okay, so it's giving us some information. Oh, there's some astronomy stuff as well. Semi-major axis, aphelion, perihelion, average distance, eccentricity. Oh, good stuff. Yep, we like that. Okay, so you can scan stuff and do some sciencey stuff. Go probe Uranus. We're not doing that joke. The idea is that there are no external menus, so everything you need to do or navigate the control of the ship will happen in the game. Also makes it able to implement a VR. Okay, that makes sense. So, okay, so the scanners are focused on Jupiter. Does that mean we can go back to the helm and use sensor target? I don't think I did that right, because that's showing 25,000 light years, which sounds a little bit further than Jupiter. Let's try. Let's try that again. Did I do something wrong? Okay, so Jupiter scan target. Oh, send to helm. So I can send. There we go. That maybe that's done it. That will send the destination to the helm station on it. Use sensor target. Ah, that's better. Right, now the distance is 6.13 AU, which is right. Okay, so now it's showing the navigation target is over there. So, okay, so now it's out. Okay, it's press send to help. Go back send to help. Thanks, guys. I think you need to hire a crew. This is going to get very because there's a lot of stuff to. Well, I mean, this is the thing. So does the multiplayer work already? Autopilot can now fly you there. It won't turn on the FTL for you. So I think we're about to make it. I think we literally are. So what do we do? Engage FTL. Okay. Space outside is starting to flicker. Okay, so we've. Oh, the Earth's moving. Look, we are moving very slowly. External view. Yeah, we are on our way. Okay, so do I need to increase the power? Let's engage the autopilot. There we go. I mean, it's a Starship. You shouldn't need to fly with the joystick, right? Okay. Oh, now we're shifting. Oh yeah, we're in warp. Oh, there goes the Earth. Okay, so it's actually kind of realistic motion. Well, not realistic, but you know what I mean. And we're flying through the solar system. There goes Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Ceres, the other planets, moving in real time. Okay, that's nice. And here's Jupiter. Look at that. And then we'll come and drop out of, presumably the autopilot will drop us out of FTL when we. Oh, that is very nice. Yeah, there's, I don't know, warp, space fog, etc. Oh, that was nice. That was really good. Okay, so the forward view now, if we go back in the ship, is Jupiter. And if I, hang on, so if I get the ship to, let's go back into the ship external view. Oh, I can't do that unless I'm sitting down. Let's just do that for a moment. If I orientate the ship so it's pointing at the red. That's a very nice model of Jupiter as well. So there we go. Look, there's the red. There is the red thing. Now, if we, bear with me here because I just want to do this. I'm gonna run down to that forward section because I want to. I tell you what. Now, actually, even better because it won't take so long. Let us orientate the ship so it's actually facing the other way. I roll it round and use the mouse. at the same time. There we go. There we can see the greenhouse, the garden. Sorry, but now the windows at the back where the space bar is should be looking at the planet. So let's see what that looks like. Oh, you can actually see it too. Look at that. Oh. I'm just going to spend all my entire time just touring the solar system, I think. So we should now, from the space bar, I'm hoping, have a lovely view. Oh, nice. That is class. I mean, who needs to go out? There we go. I'm just going to sit. There we are. And I've got Jupiter as my my backdrop. Awesome. Oh. This is amazing. I mean, I can kind of see where you're going with this in terms of sort of things that you want to do, have alien life forms and procedural this and procedural that and investigate this and that. But just being able to go to these sort of places and just have the view. It's like, yeah, I feel like there should be some monoliths about. Sprack Zarathustra's going to start playing. Okay, so that's cool. So we've been to Jupiter. We've got to go to Saturn. Okay, sorry, we've just got to go to Saturn. Let's go to Saturn. So am I right in thinking? I mean, looking at that now, we can't maneuver once we've got. Yeah, we can't go to Europa. No. Actually, that's a good question. Are there any moons in here? I didn't see any moons on the scanner. Is it just the major planets at the moment? Looks like it is, but we could go to Saturn, center helm. So yeah, I'm going to need a crew to help me fly my starship, because otherwise it's going to take us a long time to get anywhere, isn't it? But because I'm having to do all the jobs. No moons yet, says Dan. Okay, so moons would potentially be coming. Okay, so use sensor target, distant 9 AU. Engage. Okay, so quick external view. So there goes Jupiter. Did we get that right? Something's not right. We're not moving. What did I do wrong? That's engaged. Oh, I didn't engage the FTL. Duh. So you've got to do all the things. There we go. Right. So warp, the not the warp drive. I had to press engage. Yeah. I love the way that moves. Okay. So that's okay. So how fast are we going? Okay. So actually we hit 2,800 C. Pretty darn quickly there. Okay. So this thing can really move, can't it? It doesn't hang about at all. Oh, here's Saturn. Right, this has got to be another eye candy shot. There we go, that's the external view. So let's rotate. No, roll. We've got to get the orientation correct. There we go, we've arrived. So let's roll the ship around. So I kind of want it there, and then pitch a bit that way. There, that's going to be a good view, isn't it? Right, back. Sorry about this. This is why I love space exploration games, because we could do some astronomy and just visit these places. Oh, it's just release it down. It's good enough. Okay, we don't need any more content. This is fine. You know, maybe do some more reactory stuff and all those cables and stuff. But yeah, just look at that. You're like, this is, where's my? I need to figure out what my favourite chair is. It's not going to be here because you can lose the site. This is it. This is my favourite chair. There we go. So, can I take a space beer to the bridge? I could have a space beer here. I'm pretty sure. Let's get a space beer here first. Okay, maybe I can take a space beer. I mean, that's surely bad form to have. I can bring a beer. Oh, look, I can bring a beer over to the table. There we go. Put it on the table. There we go. And it needs to stand up. So there we go. Right, put that in front of that chair. Nice. Then we sit in the chair. And then we've got a space beer in Saturn. My work here is done. It's against the regulations. Yeah, this is an exploration vessel. I think it's got some offensive capability. We haven't. I don't think we know much about that. I don't think that's in the game yet either. So, but we can have a space beer while looking out the windows at Saturn. I mean, who hasn't wanted to do that? That's brilliant. Right. Okay. Hang on. So let's just out of curiosity see if we can take a space beer to the bridge. I don't think that should be allowed. Actually, it wouldn't happen on any starship where I was the captain. But it appears that I can take the beer anywhere I want to go. So this is definitely not. It's definitely not what you should be doing. But there's nowhere to put it, of course, because none of these consoles have flat surfaces. Well, probably by design, so you can't put space beers. Is that what? Maybe the captain's got a. Well, the captain has got a little space there where he could perhaps have his space beer. Yeah. There we go. Space beer on the bridge. And then it's obviously party mode, isn't it? So there we go. I like what we've done with that. Right. Okay. So hang on. I do fancy try. Okay. So that's I can kind of understand how the navigation works. Let's go somewhere a little bit further afield. Now I'm quite keen if we can figure out how to go to the Lakai 9352 systems for reasons. Can we do that? So stellar region there, 20 light years. It should show up in that list. So this is showing us all the nearest stars there. So it should be, there it is, Lakai 9352. So does that mean it's in the list here? How do I, I can scroll down. Oh, Lakai 87. It's not in alphabetical order, or is it? No, it's not. Okay. There's a lot of targets. Look, there it is, Lakai 9352. For those of you who don't know, Lakai 9352 is where I set my last science fiction series. So I'm going to go and visit the star system where my novels are set. Because I can. Because I've now got a warp-powered starship. Right, sent to helm. Right, okay. So this is the first interstellar voyage of the crew of the USS Eurydice, which is, of course, just myself. Okay. So use sensor target. So distance 10.2 light years, that is correct. Okay, I'm going to watch this from inside this time. So engage FTL. FTL is engaged. 1.21 gigawatts is available. Engage. Let's see what happens speed-wise. Okay, so field power has been switched to 100%. We are flying through the rings at warp speed, which hopefully won't destroy us. No, we're good. Okay, so speed is 2.6 million C. Oh, no, actual speed. Okay, so target speed. Okay, so we're traveling interstellar. There's our ETA in days, which is dropping fast because we're accelerating. Okay, we're at 12. God, it's going fast. Actual speed. Look at that. 1 million times the speed. Like 2.6 seems to be our maximum velocity. ETA 2 minutes at that speed. Wow. Okay. Okay, so it actually takes a bit of time. 300 light years per hour is maximum velocity. Okay, so it takes a little. That's quite nice. So if we, so that's interesting. Oh, look, it's actually moving in real time. So when you're flying through the galaxy, you're seeing actual motion of the stars. Oh, that's glorious. That is, because I really like that. Hope the brakes work at the other end, yeah. But, you know, the nearest stars we're seeing go past correctly, I think. I mean, I don't know. 10 light years isn't very far, but the closest stars would move exactly like that because parallax. And Sol is behind us. We're about halfway now. So yeah, so actually thinking about it, so at this speed, 300 light years per hour, it's going to take you several days then, if you don't stop, to travel across the galaxy. So you've got the, I don't know, 100 billion, 400 billion. How many stars are there in the galaxy? A lot. So it's going to take you a decent amount of game time to get to place. So if you wanted to go, I don't know, to Sagittarius A star or something in the centre of the galaxy, that's going to be a proper voyage, isn't it? And presumably you haven't got enough fuel on board the ship to make it in one go, so you have to refuel and do other stuff. And okay, there go. Dan, the whole galaxy is real time. 4 days to Sag A star, 2 weeks to cross the galaxy edge. So that's a nice amount of gameplay time, isn't it? It means it's not outrageously far, but yeah, if you do want to do a trip like that, it's going to take you a while to do it. You're going to need to plan that expedition. Oh, I like that. I really like that. Okay, so there's some planets here as well. Terrestrial planets in the Lakai system. Might have to have a word with you, Dan, about the planets that are here. Okay, we're diving straight into the star at the moment, which should be a red dwarf. In this system, we are like way close to this red dwarf. Nice and toasty. But yeah, that's pretty though, isn't it? That looks like we're getting incinerators. Okay, so we're in the look. Now, where's that polarization filter? Because that would be jolly handy at this point. Let's see. Is that something we can switch on? I think there was a control panel over here, because that's insanely bright, isn't it? So I think that ought to be. There we go. Oh, look at that. Okay, so the polarization filter would make sense to have on some sort of automatic kind of thing. You can skim gas giants for fuel. Okay, so that's a nice. Okay, so look at that. You can sort of see faculae on the surface of this. Oh, that even looks like a solar. Is that animated as well over there? It is as well. Look at that. That looks really pretty. I like a bit of icon. Actually, even the solar, the corona there is animated with a sort of magnetic corona kind of thing. That is very pretty, and you can fly through it. It does look amazing, doesn't it? That is. Oh, and actually, look, even the surface is animated. Didn't spot that when you zoomed out. Look at that. That is an amazing looking star. That looks insanely good. Okay, so hang on a minute. So we've just arrived in the system. We don't know what's here. So presumably we have to scan. So we're in star system mode now. We want to go. Okay, so again, here are the planets that are here at various distances. And this is correct because it's a red dwarf. So you'd expect the planets to be in really close orbits. So let's go to the nearest planet to the sun. So 0.1 AU out. Okay, so a rocky atmospheric world that orbits at an average distance of 0.11 AU, which is right. Surface temperature I'm interested in, 218 degrees centigrade. Bit toasty. Let's try something. I bet the view from there is good. Let's go there. How much time? Oh, I'm almost out of time for my stream. No, got to explore the Lakai system. So we're going to be doing a few more of these then, because there's more stuff I want to do. But let's go to, well, let's see if we can choose a planet that is slightly nicer. Now the temperature should fall off fairly fast with a red dwarf. So 119, yeah. Oh, there's an Earth-like. There's an Earth-like terrestrial planet in the Lakai 9352 system. I think we need to go there. Yeah, look, it's 23 degrees centigrade. Oh, and it's now this is absolutely fantastic. This is because it's 0.3 AU away from the star, which is a third of the distance that the Earth is. But that's correct for a red dwarf. Now this planet ought to be tidally locked as well. So a lush Earth-like planet in the Luckeye 9352 system. I wonder if it is, because it doesn't. You talk about orbital characteristics there, but rotational characteristics. Maybe that's another thing to add. But that would be quite cool. So let's. Actually, I need to send that to. Now small advert for my own stuff. I postulated an habitable planet in the Luckeye 9352 system where all my adventures happen. So I am quite keen to see what an inhabitable planet in the Luckeye 935 system looks like. Okay, so engage FTL. Oh, hang on a minute. I haven't set the target. You sense the target. So it's 0.3 AU away. That sounds about right because we're right near the star. Let's engage the autopilot. And let's go. Okay, so we're turning away from the star. Presuming I can get up and walk around the ship. Yes, I can. So I can switch off that polarization filter now so we can see a bit more. Because we're now far away from the star. So, yeah, the ship is doing its own thing, but I'm walking around. Okay, so we're heading for the terrestrial planet. Here it is. There we go. Oh my goodness me. So this is a procedurally generated planet? That looks amazingly. Now this okay, so a procedurally generated terrestrial world. Atmosphere looks like it's a bit broken. It doesn't look too bad to me. Yeah, so I can see a landmass down there. Let's rotate the ship again so we can get a good. Oh, I can do it from outside, can't we? If I sit down in the chair. Okay. There we go. So, okay, so the star is not far away from us. So yeah, I wonder if it would. Wonder if it would. It should be tidal orbed. So that may be something to simulate at some point in the future. So there's the star there, 0.3 AU away, which is should be a red dwarf star, and then it's showing all the other planets around us as well. That's really nice. Okay, so the atmosphere should be a lot puffier and bluer. I'll look at that after the stream. No worries. That's lovely. So we can actually scan an Earth-like planet. That's an amazing thing. So, well. Did anybody else gasp as Drew hit the engage FTL while pointed directly at the star? Yes, I suppose we should probably spin the ship round. Somebody might have read my book. Wouldn't that be nice? I mean, I'm assuming that's absolutely totally coincidental, but it's nice to have gone to a place in my book, as it were, book universe, and found a terrestrial planet in that system. That's just really cool. I named this planet Azurio because so is that yeah, in terms of the exploration mechanic then, is the option for us to, if we're the first to arrive somewhere, do we get to name things, or that sort of stuff? I don't know. That sounds like something that'd be quite good fun. There's a gas giant there. I love the fact there's an Earth-like planet. That's just it's just really cool. So and it's a very elegant way of navigating around space, isn't it? We're looking into some way of tracking first discoveries. Okay, that might be good. Mightn't there be a ship graveyard or something? That'd be cool. We'd stumble across some other part of the universe. So in the dying moments of my stream, and Dan, thank you ever so much for dropping into the chat. I really appreciate you being here as well, giving us a bit of a view on how stuff works and some of the history behind what you're doing. It's amazing, by the way. So I'll say that before we go any further. This is I mean, for an alpha as well, I can see what you're trying to do, and it's amazing. So for God's sake, man, work harder and get it out quick. Because we all want to play this. It's really, really good. In terms of navigating the wider galaxy, so what do we have to do? Do we have to sort of star hop? So if I want to go to galactic position there, I can sort of see where we are. We won't have moved at all, relatively, because we've only gone 10 light years. But so if I wanted to go to SAG A, how would I do that? Because I can't scan everything from here. It'd be an infinite number of lists. but it's you can literally just pick a direction and go. You can pick some coordinates 50 light years or type. Oh, so okay, you can actually just type in coordinates. So if we just wanted to go, so how do the coordinates work? So let me just have a look, see if I can figure this out for myself. So galactic X. So X is kind of left and right. So we're galactic at the moment. So ship is it galactic Y 48, galactic Z. So we're galactic Z to me is up and down versus the plane of the galaxy. Okay, so we're not far off. Saga's galactic coordinates 50, 50, 50. Okay, so if we wanted to do that, so what do? We go in there, and what do? We type 50? Oh no, okay, we clear, delete, clear, and then 50, right? And then that one, clear, 50, and then that one, clear, 50. So if Saga is 50, 50, 50, middle of 100 light year cube, right, press enter to use it as a target. Okay, so ship coordinates are minus 2000 because we're off the center. So that means we're not very. Okay, so hang on, we're in the same. We're almost in the same Z as Sag, which makes sense because we're not much above the plane of the galaxy, and Sag is presumably in the middle. Y, we're not far off to the left or the right, but we're 25,000 light years from galactic center, which is about right. Okay. Okay, so are we? Okay, so the navigation now says distance 25,000 light years. So if we engage FTL and go engage, it will fly us towards Sag. But that, okay, so manual navigation target 25,000 light years away. So, but this is going to take crazy amounts of time. So we'll hit our maximum speed of 300 light years per what was it? Minute per. Okay, so we should have Sag as a target. Okay, so ETA. Okay, we're accelerating. So when we get a maximum speed, it will give us a view of how long it takes us to get to Sag, which is going to be 3.6 days. But that's pretty good, really. I mean, it's pretty damn fast, isn't it? And oh, look at the way the stars are just slowly creeping past the viewer. That's better than hyperspace jump, right? Because you can sort of see the progress. So we're doing a light year every few seconds. Well, every 10, 15 seconds, a light year. We'll go back past Alpha Centauri on the way because we must have headed slightly out. That is very elegant. I love the way that works. And in interstellar space, it's totally dark, so there's nothing but starlight illuminating the hull. Nothing else. There's Sol over there. We're going back past. So, interestingly enough, Lakai 9352 was further out towards the galactic edge than Sol is. I hadn't realised that. That's very cool. So, but it's going to take us 3.6 days to get to get there. The speed of the ship is balanced so that 4 light years takes about 1 minute. This is because the average distance between stars in the Milky Way. Stars, I think you mean. If the average distance between the stairs is 4 light years, that's going to take a hell of a long time to get anywhere on board this damn ship. Okay, no, but that's good because that makes sense. 3.6 days would be kind of a long. It would be metaphysical stairs, big steps, yeah. Very tired to night, folks. Land the Madman. Brilliant. Well, at this point, what we'll do is we'll stop. I'm going to do another stream next week on this one because this is exactly the sort of game I think I want. It's very, very good. But yeah, that would be a serious stream, and presumably there'll be procedural things that turn up in the way. Try and join my game if we're on the same branch. So I mean, just before I switch off, and thanks Dan and thanks Dave for telling us all about it. It's been absolutely fascinating. Thanks to Claire obviously for doing the social media side and getting us involved. This is fabulous stuff. Does the multiplayer work at the moment? So could a few of us jump in and try and crew the ship together? Is that doable? Oh, Dave is just a fan. Okay, so Dave's just a fan. It does work, yes. Okay, so we could get some people to. I don't know quite how that works. I saw. Do I host a game or something? I saw that in the menu. So if I go back to here for a moment, I don't think it's on this one, isn't it? Is it quit to main menu? There we go. Let's go back to there for a moment. So there is multiplayer. Net mode, Steam, standard game type. The server name USS Drew Wager. I like the sound of that. Okay, so one player hosts and other players join in ad hoc kind of a way. You can drop in and out of a game as desired. We would need a key to do that. So so that could be a fun thing to try for the future. To see if we could operate a ship together, because it's a lot of work for one person to do. There will be a public demo very soon. Okay, so we'll hold off for that then. So that sounds like a fun thing to do. I think I just want to go boldly and do bold things. So I think we'll do another stream for that. That sounds a lot of fun. We'll just continue our mission to the heart of the galaxy. Now, are there? So now I finish the engineer tutorial, I make the demo live. Okay, so is there, in terms of what we could expect to see? Oh look, we're still in warp. This is excellent. I think I might go back to the bridge and switch the warp drive off so we don't end up going too far. That's the bridge, isn't it? Let's switch off the warp drive. Otherwise, we'll be in totally uncharted space. What's the coordinates of Sol, by the way? It might be that would be one that's probably worth remembering. Okay, so how do I switch this off? Disengage autopilot. Disengage FTL. Is that a good thing to do at full speed? Boom! You literally. Okay, so target speed. Okay, so it's elegant enough not to just drop you from 2.6 million times the speed light to zero in no seconds at all. So it slows us down. Okay, so we literally dropped out. That's interesting as well. So we've dropped out of. What's the drive technology called? It's just called FTL. We are literally here in interstellar space, aren't we? There's nothing here. We are. Oh, there's a sensor target 15 light years away there. There's the navigation target. Are there any procedurally generated things in the universe like nebula? I can see a nebula in the distance. Is that something that we could navigate to at the moment? Or is that just sort of a backdrop eye candy thing at the moment? It's a fully 3D nebula. Nebula, black hole and O-types. Oh, we've got to go find some of this. So is it, I mean, I'm thinking, what's the nearest black hole to Earth? Cygnus X1? Does that exist? And you can fly through 3D volumetric nebulas. Okay, well that's next week's stream sorted out then. We're going to do that. We're going to have to definitely do that. Ah, I'm impressed. I am very impressed indeed. This is the game that we've been after. So, Dan, I don't know why you're still here. I think you should get back in front of that PC now. Get coding, man. Cygnus X1 is quite a long way. I was thinking all black holes in the game are procedural and unique. Oh, so we've got to find some. We've got to go and find some black. We've got to find a black hole. I've got to see a black hole. Do you have things like accretion disks and gravitational lensing and anything like that going on? I don't know if I want to know the answer to that actually, because I might want to go find out. I love So this is better than Elite Dangerous because you can see the galaxy rolling past the window. It's not just a hyperspace jump. You can actually just see space going past. That's a glorious thing. It's really, really nice. Nebula, whole O-type stars, rare and elusive things. Okay, so this the black holes are gravitationally lensed. Okay, right. We might be streaming this for a while then. I just love the astronomy. The astronomy is good. Scenic drive, friendship drive. Yeah, engages the scenic drive. Right. Well, so I love what you're trying to do here, Dan. So I get what you're trying to do. You want, this is amazing in the sense that because, alas, we live in an era, right, where everything on Earth has been explored. But we know one day, hopefully, there will be a warp-powered starship of some kind, whether it's wormholes or warp drives or hyperspace, goodness knows what it's going to be, right? but we're not. We know we're not going to see it in our lifetimes, are we? So this is the only alternative. Let's build a universe we can explore, which is based on the real thing, as close as we can get it to be, and provide ourselves with a fictional starship that can go there. I love it. I absolutely love it. Somebody get Drew a sedative. That's why I'm building it. I want to be out there exploring this. Yeah, we want to be with you as well, Dan. So this is an amazing thing. So, well, congratulations on what you've achieved so far. This is quite a thing that you've created. So, and all power to you. All power to you for creating it and where you're going with it. So yeah, absolutely love what you're doing here, and the fact you've got space beer on board, perfect. The expression bug is still present. It's all in the games. Yeah, this is exactly what I'd like to see. So yeah, the scientific realism, the engineering realism, the astronomical realism, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, and still fun to do. So with that, I think we'll go out. So I'll do another stream next week. There's more we need to have a look at here, because we've just kind of scratched the surface of it in terms of just getting a feel for the ship. So yes, we'll do a bit more of this next week. But thank you very much to Dan and to Dave the fan, and Dan the developer, for popping in to Starship Simulator. Thank you very much, obviously, to you guys. Thank you very much to Claire, who gave me the Steam key and give me some instructions on how to use it and various other bits and pieces. So that's really, really good. Hit disco alerts, yes. Engage disco mode. There we go. It's very impressive. I can heartily recommend, but we will be watching this one with maximum interest, with sensors on full power. So Dan, good luck, congratulations for what you got so far. This is fantastically exciting. So looking forward to seeing what you come up with next. So yes, we'll do a bit more streaming on this and explore a bit more what's going on. And thanks very much, everybody. See you again next week. See you tomorrow for a bit of Star Citizen, obviously. And this will be up on YouTube for anybody who missed it. I don't mind telling you this, because you haven't missed it because you're here. But it will be up on YouTube, and we'll give it a little bit of a flair there, because this needs more attention. We need more hype and excitement about this, because this is exactly what we're after. Lovely stuff. Take care, my friends. Be good. I'll see you in Infinite Unknown, because there's an entire galaxy out there we need to go and explore. See you soon. Be good. Thank you very much, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow.